Hello again, everyone. This is Gilmer, and this is episode 36 of my grand campaign. Let's play War in the East. I'm playing the grand campaign, and I'm playing as the Soviets. And it's really about time for me to go ahead and process the next turn. I've went through a ton of units, making sure that I have as few as possible attached to Stavka. There's still a few. I know if you see a white unit, there's sometimes, not necessarily always, but there's a good chance that they are going to be Stavka. There are some others that are white, but most of the frontline units that are white turn out to be, well, this little grouping. But if you click on them, they turn purple or green or red or whatever, blue. But I've gone through pretty much all of these. As you can see, there are still some that are kind of hanging around and staying attached to Stavka. But in overall, they've pretty much been assigned. There was one that was a Stavka. So this group in here, they are attached to regular headquarters. They just are white for some reason. I don't know why, but we're gonna go with it. And I know that in a previous episode, this is completely off the topic of what I was just talking about, but I wanted to bring it up because I did say I would research it. A Pukovnik general, or whatever it's called, General Pukovnik, that's Colonel General, and that is above a Lieutenant General and above a Major General. And what we talked about before, where it said a Major General was promoted to a Lieutenant General, that is correct. It goes Major General, Lieutenant General, Colonel General, and then Marshal of the Soviet Union or whatever. So that's what a Colonel Pukovnik is. I don't think that there is a Colonel General classification in American armies or the U.S. Army, unless they just go by stars, and then it might just be a 4-star general as opposed to a 5-star general or whatever. I know that in the USA we just go by stars. I mean, I know that they have a technical name, or a regular name, but usually when they talk about generals in the USA, they say this guy's a 1-star general, a 2-star general, 3-star general, 4-star general, and 5-star general. And I think the last 5-star general we had was Omar Bradley. I'm not positive about that, but I think he did get 5 stars, and but I could be wrong on that. I don't know that for a fact. That's me talking off the top of my head, just trying to remember things that I've heard before or seen before that were written by somebody, and it could very easily be wrong. I told you in the last episode I wanted to look a little bit more at the informational screens. It looks like blizzard and forecast of blizzard, ice level 5, ice level 6, ice level 7. And there's some level of ice that means that you can go across rivers and lakes. And we talked about that last time as well. And I think it's 6, 5 or 6 or 7. I can't remember. But if you're in a besieged city or a surrounded city except for water, and the water's frozen, they can get supplies to you across that frozen waterway, and without boats. They don't need boats. And for some reason my voice sounds really hoarse today. I don't know why. I haven't done a lot of talking today. I just started talking, and I started sounding hoarse. I did watch. I was watching a little bit of TV and laughing a little bit earlier, and um, that's beside the point. I didn't notice anything about my voice being hoarse at that time, but it does sound hoarse right now to me. Look at all these units that say they've arrived. 104th Rifle Brigade at 11637. That's interesting to me. 11637. So where is that? There's 116. 116. 11652. Okay. So, that's what it is. These brigades, I guess what they're saying is the brigade received, wait a minute, arrived at, I thought I was moving these guys, but it's very possible that they showed up on their own right there. These units showed up on their own as opposed to me moving them there. So many units, I can't remember every single thing that they did or do. Isolated units, yeah, I got several. Damn. 8015, 8014. Where is that? What is that? 8967. 88. Oh, well, wait a minute. Let's go down further. 8015. Honestly, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, to be honest. 8015. Shit, where is 8015? Is it this? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's they're saying that my units in and around Leningrad are isolated, which is a fact, of course. There's nothing I can do about that. Unfrozen units, 10644. I'm not going to look for those. I'll find them and get to them. And a lot of renames. I don't understand it. To 41C Rifle Division. Why are so many renamed 41C Rifle Division? That's weird. Maybe they were sent to reserves is what it's saying, or something like that, because that would be one hell of a big unit if all of those converted to the same rifle division. Aircraft swaps. The Lag 3 is coming online. They're obviously a better airplane than the I-153. I think the I-153 is a biplane still, and a Lag 3 is a single wing plane or whatever, as opposed to the World War One looking airplanes that had two layers of wings. These, I think, are the single regular World War II airplanes that you normally see. And then the rest of it, not going to get too deep into the details here. Still have a pretty good amount of T-34 sitting around. I don't know how I'm able to get them into the units, but losses of type. Axis Combat 172. Soviet Combat 476. That's a lot. Soviet retreat. It seems like I've lost a lot that time. Yeah, that doesn't... I don't know about that. See, they're losing, you know, I mean, I still obviously far outnumber their losses, but their numbers are getting bigger. 600,000 lost is pretty significant. We've looked at the weather. Ice, ice, ice. Blizzard, blizzard, blizzard. Commander's report screen. As you can see, there's still a significant amount, I think, that are attached to Stavka, and I'll probably at some point go through them because it's a lot. And even if it's a lot, I went through a whole bunch and changed them out of Stavka. So I'm not gonna, oh wait a minute. Battles. So, retreated, surrender. Oh, the attacker was the Soviets, and we had a surrender. Look at that. Defender losses 25,000. Defender losses 28,000. Defender losses 28. I'm pretty sure that's us making them, surrender. Equipment. So there's a lot of interesting information on these screens, and it's just up to you to kind of, pay attention to it if you really want to know. I don't get too much into the air doctrine. I'm more than likely. Oh, see, Axis VPs. It was 185. Now it's 184. It's going down. So we do have that going on. Production. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You got capacity damage, pool built units. So I think that's pretty obvious. And then we have all of our, fronts or whatever, the Leningrad front, the Volkov front, the Bryansk front, the Western front. And then some of these units are attached to cities. So a lot of information, if you know what you're looking at, and I'm not saying I do, but if you know what you're looking at, it's very helpful. These screens are very helpful for you to make your decisions on what you need to do. Like I said, though, I'm not an expert, so I look at it and it's very interesting, but I can't really say that it helps me out that much, just because I'm, I don't know how to apply that to what I'm doing in the sense of, oh, this unit, or this whatever, it needs to do this or that or the other. I just don't know. I'm a lot of this is flying by the seat of my pants, just because I'm really enjoying myself. And so, after what, 23 turns or so of the Germans just beating the living crap out of me, I enjoyed it, but I was losing. And obviously, when you're losing, it's not as enjoyable as if you're winning. And so now I'm enjoying it obviously a lot more. Um, I think that's a pretty normal reaction. I don't think anybody that plays any type of game and wants to win is sitting there thinking, boy, I really do wish I would lose, or I'm really having fun losing. So now we're winning, and I'm feeling pretty good about what's going on. And I knew this would happen. I knew we would get to a point where I was pushing them back and attacking them on all fronts, and a lot of it working. So, that's just as kind of a background on where my mind is and where my mindset was through those first 20 something turns or so. I always knew that we would at some point be on an offensive footing as opposed to a defensive footing. I just didn't know exactly when and exactly what what kind of role it would take. So I'm going to process this turn and just see, because I don't really see anything else that I can do. I mean, I guess I could do some more attacks. Like right there. But see, my attacker's 7,000 men. See how it said defender fort, entrenched level or whatever reduced, and then it had 74% in parentheses. I don't know if that 74% is what's left or how much it reduced it, but we are reducing their fort levels when we attack, so there is some added benefit to attacking them even when we lose. Just so long as we're, have a decent amount of, forces up against theirs, and so that it's not a slaughter. So let's go ahead and process this turn and enjoy it. If, I don't know. They might attack us and it might not be that enjoyable, but I don't think they're going to do too much attacking in the next few turns. I'm really looking forward. I don't know if some of these 41s are going to be headquarter units or what have you, but I'm hoping that those are the actual movement points of an actual unit, land unit. Okay, see, they're attacking a little bit. They're still pretty strong up there, the Swedish, and that unit was very weak. I moved that across the river there, and he got his ass beat. I kind of knew that. I was trying to get somebody across there, but I couldn't. Good deal. Okay. So they've lost 648,000. We've lost 1,995,96,000. Our movement points aren't really that much better this time. And it's a big complicated calculation to get movement points, and I'm pretty sure it has a lot to do with the reason I'm not personally getting good movement points is because of a lot of my leaders not being too good. I think we might not have had them completely bottled up. We do now. I think that was the one where I was hoping to get them bottled up, but I wasn't sure. And I want to set the microphone down so I can do some attacks, just because we're gonna start doing a lot of attacks. So we've reduced his fort level down to 0. That is good. We made that guy retreat. Yeah, crap. We're not going to get that guards unit in on that attack. And they held. This guy shouldn't be pushed back, and he was. Oh well. So we're moving some of these guys back now. Let's see. They look like they're kind of, those 3 units look a little select one to get them all to work, but finally got a railroad construction brigade built. I don't know how we get those built, but they are, I guess they're You can't change them from being attached to Stavka. So they are going to be my rail repair. I haven't really advanced enough to do much rail repair at this point. Yeah, we can't. These guys have been pocketed for a while now. There wasn't a unit here, but we did control that hex. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack these guys. And they surrendered. Nice. Nicely done. Troops. So I don't know if you saw that or not. And I'm sorry if you can't hear me. I lean away from the microphone. That was, I think, the LAH, and I don't know what LAH is stands for, but that was the LAH Panzer Division. I should be looking at it before I even attack. So this one's going to be the 16th Panzer Division, the 29th Motorized Division, and the 17th Panzer Division, and they should surrender as well. So let's go ahead and attack them. And they all surrendered. So that's pretty big. That is pretty big. I am pretty pleased with that. You cannot underestimate the value, if you ask me, or you cannot. What am I trying to say? You can't overestimate, I guess, the value of getting Panzer units to surrender. I think that is huge, because even if they come back, which I don't know that the game lets them come back, but it probably does. But even if they come back, they have to replace everything. They have to replace the men, they have to replace the material, they have to replace everything, and the men won't be as experienced. So I think that is huge. If you ask me, I'm hoping that is the case. And I am, that was 3 stacks of units in that area, right in there, that they lost. These guys, I'm going to let them kind of wither on the vine a little bit more before I actually attack them. We are advancing almost uncontested down here. Although I don't really know how Power of 14 only can generate 6,000 men, but I'm not going to complain too much, I don't think. We are going to make these guys surrender. What the hell was that? Oh yeah. If you cut them off and then attack them, they surrender / route. If it's on the same turn, they're just going to route, and then they don't leave the field. They just route and go back behind the lines of the front lines. But if you have them completely cut off, like I had up here, wherever it was, I think right there, where they did not have any hex to their own, back lines for at least one turn, then they'll surrender. That's why I wanted to get these guys closed off for one turn, so that when we move against them, we will, they will surrender, as opposed to routing, which is what just happened here. And if you were watching, what I did was I moved this unit around to cut him off and then attacked him, and so he routed instead of surrendering. That's something you got to keep in mind. That's something that is very important to keep in mind. If you can make them surrender, it's better. I mean, routing is still pretty good, but making them surrender is better. Much better. So as you can see, I'm doing some hasty attacks, and hasty attacks aren't really moving them out of the way in a very good fashion. I mean, every now and then it works, obviously, but it's not the best if they've been sitting there for a while to get them out of their entrenchment. But down here, I think I am going to use, well, I don't know. Here I'm going to do a deliberate attack. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. We had 79,000 men fighting 18,000. So we pushed them back, and that was a nice victory. As you can see, they've got a defensive line back here. I just haven't necessarily reconnoitered it or reconned it well enough to know what they have. But it's, it's not like they're going to completely stop me. They don't really have the cohesion right now to stop me. There's another stop. And so he will move. We'll move them down here. There's a stock. See right here, they're faced off against a power of 7. I probably should try to reconnoiter, or air recon, just to make sure that they are a power 7, and it doesn't change. So, they still might not necessarily be that strong, but I think I would be foolish to. I mean, what's that? 34 against 7. You might win that. But you've seen, I'm sure you've seen a couple of these where it's been, I've had 14 power and it was 6,000 men. That's not going to move that unit. We'll try it though. Let's try it. But it was 36,000 men against 15,000 men, so it wasn't that bad of a decision. There you go. do a pocket somewhere. I want to get a pocket going. I really want to save these units, if at all possible. So see, they've been pushed. They've been pushed out. Wow, look at that. 1625. That's good. That's a good unit right there. The only thing is, look at that. We saved them somehow. I mean, somewhat. I'm not necessarily sure they're completely saved, but that was pretty nice right there. I'm glad I got those units back. They're now not in an out of supply mode. I'm running a little long on this, but I don't really want to stop at this point. Soviet rail. See, there's no damage to the rail right here. This is basically the same. This has all been in Soviet hands. This is where we stopped them, so I don't really have an opportunity to start using my rail repair units yet, but it's coming. It will definitely be here, and we'll all get to enjoy me. I probably try to do that off screen as well. Nobody wants to see me doing 15 to 20 minutes of rail repair. I know I don't. I mean, I'll be the one doing it, and it won't be all that fun for me. So, I'm sure you guys will be. Shoot, I'm gonna actually. What? It's this unit. It's this, isn't it? Yeah. But he's at 8, so I might have to just reassign these. Where was he? Oh crap, I've lost him. There he was. So this unit and this unit, okay. Or that stack and that stack. I'm not really sure I want them to be attached to the 1st Airborne Corps, but I'm gonna let it slide for now. Oh, I don't really want to move those guys. Are there any other places I can exploit their weakness? I'm going to try it here. Yeah, that should be a good battle. And it was. Trying to remember what headquarters. Let's take a look at the generals. We're not actually going to dismiss this guy. He's 2-1, but we're just going to take a look. So Zhukov is now 18-14, and he's in charge of the 40th Army. So as you can see, a lot of these guys, I can't remember who had really bad records, But it looks like a lot of these guys have turned their record around to some extent. I'm pretty sure that guy had a bad record and that guy did. Anybody who has that many battles probably had a bad one-loss record. This guy has a lot of battles, and he's at 41 and 37, so he's coming around. He was relieved of command, so he's still at 1 and 28. This guy is at 10 and 17, and this guy's at 58 and 113. I bet it was even worse than that at some point. I think that's up north near Leningrad. They really did push our units around up there. That is a fact. So Zhukov is, let's go up here. He's at the 40th. Please don't tell me I changed him. Let's find the 40th. No, I didn't change him. Good. So, just trying to get some of these guys attached to the right units. 37th. Okay. So he's attached to the 40th. So where is the 40th? What the hell are you doing all the way down there, Zhukov? Look at all these guys that are out of... Let's, yeah, that's a lot better. I got most of his guys are... It doesn't seem like there's that many. Looks like a whole hell of a lot more earlier. But, I don't know. Well, all these yellow units, I think, are attached to each other. I might be wrong on that. Well, I know these two units are 40th Army. Anyway, I think I digressed there pretty significantly. That's the kind of that's the kind of disposition of forces I'm really looking for. 100,000 to about 15 to 20,000. I don't know. I wish there was some way I could do a pocket right here and get these units. It'd definitely be nice. There's some targets of opportunity up here in the north. That's what I'm looking for. We'll move that guy up and put him right in here. Strengthen that part of the line up a little bit. They're entrenched in there pretty good. At some point I want to break through somewhere along this line and kind of do a pivot right through here, hopefully, and catch all these units, and also relieve Leningrad at the same time. Now, I haven't really been looking at this. Oh well. See, I'm almost to the point where I'm not able to get all of my units up on the line. That's when you really want to be able to build your divisions into corps so that you can get more strength on the front lines to really go after them. Once I'm able to build a lot of corps, I won't have this issue where I have so many units I can't get into the fighting because there's just not enough frontage on the front lines for them to get any significant attacks in. We're going to get a lot of these units up, ready to exploit any kind of breakthrough. And also, that wasn't very many units, was it? That's alright. Next turn they will be ready for a good, strong attack. I'm hoping to get, it's a 14th Panzer Division and the 18th Panzer Division. I'm hoping to get them next turn. Alright, so anyway, we're sitting at 50 minutes for this episode, so I think I will call it to a close. I was just having so much fun. I kept going and kept going and kept going. But you know, thanks a lot. Thanks for sticking in. We're definitely getting there. How cool would it be if I could get him to sit on the Gilmer crossroads? It wouldn't necessarily screw him up completely, but it would have, I think, some effect, especially on these units that are coming straight from there. Although they could, I guess, come that way, but and up this way and this way. But you know, I don't know how hard that would be to get their supply that far. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Good night.